find something up here to do it. Because one of the things I hear from athletes all the time is, I know I have the tools to be successful, I'm just not accessing it. So what gave you that invitation to access it?
I think it's here, but I also think it's here. You know, like if it's not here, then there's no way it's here. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like if it's not in your heart, then you're not going to get out of bed every single day on those hard days, on those days where you don't want to do it, right? Because we all have that. There's no secret to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me every day you wake up and you're like, yeah, I feel like $1 million, no, like you're going to go through ups, downs, this, that, and the other throughout those days. And some of us have tools, and some of us have tools, and some of us don't. But on those days, you have to find a way to break through. So for me, that was the biggest possible thing. Finding a way to break through on those days where you don't want to break through.
See, that's so critical, though, because so many people see those bad days as a reflection or judgment of themselves versus this is the challenge day. Like, you didn't look for your A+ day, right? Tell me about, I think the reason I wanted to have you on was twofold. One is, you know, we talk a lot about strategy. We talk a lot about swing. We talk about a lot of things in sports. But club fitting is so critical because if you don't do it right, you know, people find themselves in trouble. And a lot of my buddies that I play with are like, you know, they're changing heads and all this, and they're not getting fit. Why is it so important for the best players in the world to be fit properly?
Well, it's important for everybody. I mean, and granted, there is and I have to say this out loud because getting fit in today's game, it's expensive. It's a cost, right? It would be considered still, also, although essential, it's still a luxury item. You know, if you're going to go out and buy a brand new set of sticks, and if you take your game seriously, meaning you want to get better and you're going to invest your time in your game, and you're going to go out and buy new golf clubs and get them fit because it's only to your benefit to have tools that are made for you.
Hey, welcome back to Mental Game Live. It's been a couple weeks. I am with a new addition, a new hip, and I'm a little out of breath today as I've been bouncing between physical therapy appointments and the couch. But we're here. I'm glad to be here. So we're going to take about 30 to 45 minutes today and talk a little bit about anxiety, performance anxiety, what's been happening, what you can do to get today's launch of the new book, Kick Anxiety's Ass, and I think it can help you. So what's up, Bash? Hope you're doing well.
Man, I'm living the dream, as they say.
Well, you're a little better than you were last week, so don't lie.
Yeah, well, yeah. Slightly better.
Slightly better. So just as you guys know, if you follow me, I appreciate it. I had my hip replaced a week ago Wednesday, so it'll be 2 weeks this upcoming Wednesday. Surgery went well. I had a little complication afterwards, which I guess is just a genetic thing for Brett McCabe. My blood pressure dropped after about 2.5 hours after the surgery, and made for a fun couple hours after that of feeling like I was going to pass out as they were trying to get me up. It happened the first time. I should have known. And you know what? But I made it home that night about 7 o'clock. Pain was really manageable for the first couple of days because of the block and the amazing technology that they have. And then it kind of settled in of, we're going to kick your ass a little bit here. And so for the last week, I've been kind of dealing with some pain around the leg. Been going to outpatient physical therapy. Been working my ass off out there. There's such a difference between going to outpatient physical therapy like I've done this time versus having somebody come to your house. I'm sure there are people on here who are physiology based. And when I go into the lab, they work me. And today she worked me. I felt like I should have paid for torture techniques. And I've never, as many times as I've been on a table for baseball, my back going out, whatever, Bash, today was the first day I actually felt like I was going to commit physical harm on a human being. And she told me that ahead of time. She told me you can slow it down when you need to slow it down. But I was like, you know what? If it's going to get me there, let's go. And I've been, for those of you who know what you're talking about, I'm having some IT band pain that runs into my knee and into my calf. And at night, my leg tends to swell just because of all the trauma. If you know how they do a hip replacement, it's a nasty looking thing. And so today I'm with a lot more elevation and a lot more things to try to get the fluids out of there. But it's good overall. I've been staying on the Game Ready Game Ready, Normatec, all those great techniques that I see all my athletes utilize.
Are you on the Aaron Rodgers track to get back?
I mean, come on. That dude is that guy's insane, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like my physical therapist said, people come in and go like, I want the Aaron Rodgers plan. She's like, okay, you want full-time physio living with you? That's fine if you want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to cost you.
Yeah, it's going to cost you. But it's funny, right? I mean, I had the surgery on a Wednesday. On Thursday, I was in physical therapy the next day. I mean, it's like, and you're like, how do you get out of a truck? How do you get up steps? They show you how to do all that.
Occupational therapy.
What's that? Oh, OT.
Like occupational therapy.
Yeah, I haven't tied my shoes yet. I haven't put my socks on yet. There'll be time for that.
No need.
I have an amazing wife. She has been ridiculous in this, taking care of me and serving me and all
Doesn't
that.
she do that anyway?
No, I wish she did. She's amazing, but running a business, working with you guys, my youngest daughter decided the day after my surgery to have her wisdom teeth taken out. So she had double duty. That was good planning. So, when we talk about having fun, we were having some freaking fun. I mean, but I've been able to stream some Netflix shows I haven't watched in a while. It took me about a week to mentally clear. So I haven't really been able to do anything besides sit and watch a Netflix show and be like, I think I saw that. Oh yeah, I did. I saw that earlier. And then you realize you watched the same episode twice.
Nice.
But other than that, it's been good. I think I'm gonna go over to Tuscaloosa on Wednesday and actually kind of be around, but they have kind of a big rehab center over there too. So I'll probably get some rehab while I'm there. And, I'm ready to get back to normal. What kind of was the confirmation for me was I've been struggling with this for a while. I didn't know if it was the right time. My surgeon was retiring. So I was like, I'm gonna get it done. And then I watched that video, the episode 4 of Fixin' Frankie. And if you haven't watched it, check it out. It's fantastic. Fixin' Frankie through the 4-play golf. But it was super wet that day. You remember how much it rained when they came in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I watched myself walking through the fairways and I couldn't get extension on my right leg and I couldn't push through my leg. And I was like, okay, that's it. That was a confirmation for me. It's like, I can't continue to do this. And so I'm excited it's over. It's a long process. I will, as soon as we're done, I will hang up and go get back on the couch and hook up the Normatec again. And off I go again for another hour.
There you go.
This afternoon, I've got one little phone call, but we didn't want to delay the book launch. We wanted to get it out there. And what's a better time than when I'm flat on my back than to launch Kicking Anxiety's Ass?
That's right.
So thank you for everybody who has picked up a copy. Please let me know what you think. It's a very vulnerable place. What's up, Radar? We're going to eat that sushi. I'm telling anybody. It's the book is one of those things that you write and you hope it hits the mark. And you don't know. You study what it takes to write and the hero's journeys and all these other things, right? And, I shared it with people who suffer from anxiety. I've shared it with people who treat anxiety. And I just wanted it to be a book that was practical, that somebody could pick up and go, man, I can do this shit. I can do this. Like, you know what? Anxiety doesn't have to own my life anymore. What's up, Chuck? Anxiety doesn't have to control every decision I make. I can take control. And when you read the book, I hope it'll give you some guidance on how you can flip the perspective a little bit to see it from a different way and that you can live, succeed, thrive, love, laugh, everything despite having anxiety. Okay. This book's not going to tell you how to get rid of anxiety. It's just going to tell you how to kick its ass and take control. So I hope that's a fair assessment of it.
Put anxiety in the corner.
Yep. And it is very honest, as Tom said. I mean, it starts off with my experience of having panic attacks on airplanes, and then dealing with underlying anxiety my entire life. Leading into the surgery, my anxiety peaked. It's funny, the morning of the surgery, I was ready to go. Didn't need anything. Let's go. Because anxiety is always about the what if, not about the what. Okay. It's the what if, what could happen, where am I going to go? And I thought, what's brilliant about anxiety was once I realized what the challenge was and it was inevitable that I was going to go into surgery, well, it was like, you know what? This is what you signed up for. This is what it's to improve your quality of life so we can go through some of the BS for a period of time to get to the better side. And I think that helps me in a much better way. So I hope the book helps you. If you want to pick it up, best thing to do is pick it up through Amazon. If you know somebody in your life who's struggling with anxiety, there's a few curse words in there. Shit. I don't know if the F word's in there, but
yeah,
it is.
I mean, hell, it's got a cuss word on the cover, so I mean, that should give you a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Well, it could be kick anxiety's donkey. I mean, that's fine.
Rear end.
Yeah. But I want people to realize that it is a book that's raw. It's honest. I deal with anxiety every day of my life, every single day. So it's not like I've sit here and said I won. Bash is the same way. So, it's one of those things that I hope you find peace and mind through it. And if you love it, please leave a review. Please, 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 please. Reviews are so powerful on Amazon because it helps your algorithm. It helps get people. I don't benefit from it per se. It's not like I get a bonus of how many people write reviews. And actually, Bash and I talked, and Logan, my daughter, we all talked, and Missy, we all talked this time about not pre-flooding us with reviews. A lot of times when a book is launched, you send out to 40 people and you say, please read this book for free, and then send a review. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want it to look like 40 people had pre-read the book and they were asked to do it. If nobody reviews this book and nobody likes it, then that's a sign of what I needed to know. But if the book makes an impact and people like it and you leave a review on Amazon, send me an email, please. But if you'll please send a message and put a review up on Amazon, that can get to somebody who can get better because of it. It'll shift based on the words you use and everything, and it'll put it in people's algorithms. So please, if the book has one page in there that resonates with you, say that in the review. 95% of this book is crap, but 5% was fantastic. Fine. But I hope it's not that. I hope it's that this book was fantastic and explain why. And that's all I can ask from you guys. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the support of it. And what we can do to kick anxiety's ass. So we've got an epidemic in this world of anxiety. Our kids, all of us, are suffering at a rate that we've never seen before. We've got people dealing with things that are significant. I wrote an email last night about what our youth athletes are experiencing today. And just since I've had surgery or in the process, we have the Hamas-Israeli war. We have a mass shooting in Maine. We have the death of a celebrity. We have economic numbers that are all over the place. And this is a political discussion about where's right, wrong, or anything. I just want you to understand the volume of stuff that is flooding down our information superhighway at a national and international level is so massive. Then you start adding in the personal things that we all deal with. We deal with our own pressures and our stresses and our need to perform and fulfill the needs of others. Like people's like, oh, I don't want to worry about what other people think of me. Well, then you're not human. Okay. You'll never live a day in your life where you don't worry what other people think. So we need to reframe that and realize that we have some value to offer to people. And so when all those pressures in the world are coming down the slope at us, we have to learn how to turn it. And so when I wrote this so that people would understand in that email, so that people would understand that sometimes we have to have some compassion for people who are suffering from anxiety. It's not about just get over it, just put it away, put it in a box and ignore it. When you got anxiety, man, that box, you live in the box. Okay, you live in the cardboard box in the top of the closet. That is your world. And so just remember what everybody's going through. You weren't a better athlete than today's kids. Sorry. You weren't. You never struggled. You didn't walk up both ways to school in the snow. There weren't days that you loved the game. There were days that you hated going to practice. There were days you hated to train. Okay. But we got to have some compassion for the people who are going through it, including ourselves. So, all right. Diatribe over. I was going to ask you, have you seen the movie Air?
Air?
Air.
I haven't seen it.
Fantastic movie.
Don't know that I've heard of it.
Okay. So it's with Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and it's about the Michael Jordan Nike collaboration.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that's what it was called, but I've seen previews for it.
Okay. Well, I'm not robbing the storyline for you, but this is what kind of led me to wanting to talk about performance anxiety today. As Sonny Vaccaro was watching and they were trying to make a decision on who they were going to sign, he watched the last play when Jordan hit the shot as a freshman in the national title game. And he was struck by Jordan's demeanor. Okay. Now, one of the things that we often see in anxiety and stuff like that is people are like, he looked calm out there. He looked like it didn't bother him. Or show body language like you got it all together, right? What Sonny actually said is when he knew the play was coming his way, he didn't look bothered by it. He looked like he wanted the ball. He knew the play was cycled to him, and he knew, like, that's that moment, right? And I'll say this. What they were highlighting, the fact is that Sonny was identifying that Michael could probably be the best player of all time based on that demeanor. And one of the things we talk about in the book is don't use outliers as standards, okay? Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't care what you say about Kobe or LeBron. LeBron wears shoes with Michael's image on them. That should just answer the question right there, okay? LeBron is ridiculous. One of the best ever, but the best ever is Michael Jordan. And what Sonny Vaccaro saw was this guy who was going to get the ball in the biggest shot of his life, and he was ready for the opportunity. And one of the things that I've seen is that the vast majority of players are not ready for the opportunity. That as the opportunity is coming their way, as the challenge, the risk, the threat is coming down the pipe, it's coming their way, there's a big moment, there's a time to compete or not, that the vast majority of people are doing an inventory of their tools and ignoring the fact that they, as a player, as a person, they are the weapon. Most people are doing an inventory of their tools to make sure that everything is okay, that that I've got this, my swing is down, my mechanics are great, I've done a lot of great practice, whatever. But the best, step out of that and go, I am ready for whatever comes my way. And what happens is performance anxiety builds because we're asking ourselves, can I and am I ready? And we start doing an analysis of, am I prepared for this? Am I ready? How would you ever know that you were truly ready? Is there any amount of practice you could do? Is there any kind of evidence that you would need to prove that you are ready? And so what happens is our energy level rises and you start moving into performance anxiety. And what is performance anxiety? Performance anxiety is the fear of being evaluated, judged based on your performance and an outcome who's validating who you are. So the more uncertainty we have, the more our body and mind send energy to face it, the more that energy identifies the what ifs and the risks. And when we can't resolve it, it becomes anxiety and worry. Okay? But here's the deal. The best, the people who take the next step, the ones that I look at and I go, this person's got it. They don't look at the moment as a time to do inventory. They don't look at the moment as a time to evaluate their training, their practice, or their preparation. They don't look at the moment as a time to see, do I have what it takes? See, the best in those moments, take those moments and say, what can I do here? What can I do? Not, I'm powerless. Not, oh my God, I didn't work my wedges today. I didn't go do 14 corner shots. I didn't take 100 balls of framing to know if I could go out there and frame. Oh my God, I didn't throw a bullpen yesterday before I started a game today in baseball. That's what anxiety gives us. But when the best walk out there and go, whatever tools I have available to me, I'm the difference maker. I'm the one that utilizes the tools. I'm the one that chooses what tools to use. I'm the one that utilizes and the understanding. That's what a master truly is. If I hired a master craftsman right now, a carpenter, he's going to have all the tools in the world, but I can guarantee you the tools that he uses are going to be the ones that are worn out. And he can take a knife and he can take a drill and he can take a hammer and probably create whatever you want because he's the artist. She's the artist. Not, well, I've got this amazing craftsman right here in the corner that cuts beautifully. All right. Well, what happens is so many of us, because we're in that moment of stress and anxiety, is we're judging and evaluating ourselves as, am I actually good enough? Have I done the work? And then what happens is when it's not right, we blame ourselves. We get harsh on ourselves. We blame our coaches. We cut people off. We tell them they're no good. We get mad at the world. The umpire screwed us. It was all this other stuff versus, you know what? Get better. The best will continually put themselves in opportunities without a guaranteed outcome. The best will continue to put themselves in treacherous environments, but will improve their skills based on that experience. That's the only way through performance anxiety, is trying not to mask it, not resist it, not to keep it back. Okay? I want you to realize that stress, anxiety, and worry, it's where you want to be. The only way to take control is to realize it has no control over you. That I may feel a certain way. My mind may race. Remember, I've talked about this. Competitive pressure and stress impacts us in 4 massive areas. It changes us the way we move physically. It changes the way we think. It changes the decisions and the processes that we employ, and it changes our grittiness. Every single player in every single moment. LeBron had to learn to shoot in the game 7s. Okay. Jordan had to learn to get the right players on the court and distribute the basketball the right way to get it done. They didn't all come out of and start winning everything right away. Okay. They had to lose and learn what it takes. You've got the 3 greatest male tennis players of all time in Federer, Djokovic, and Spanish guy. Nadal. And now you have the young kid coming, right? Those 3 made each other better. It raised the game on each of them. It made their skills better. But Federer didn't walk out of getting beat by Djokovic and be like, man, I suck. My tools aren't good enough. He looked at it and was like, I got my butt kicked today. I got to get better in those moments. What are the skills I need to do to improve to get better? Not, oh my God, I'm not good enough. I may not have been good enough today, but I can embrace that moment because guess what? That moment is going to come again. If I've earned the right, that moment will come again. If I've earned the right to be in a high pressure situation, then I've earned the right to compete. It's not about protecting your ego, your softness. It's not about mom or dad wanting to soothe you and, oh my God, they played bad. What do I need to say to them? Get better. Get better. Mom, dad, your kid's struggling. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're there for them and tell them what can we do to help you get better. Don't tell them how to get better. When they fell down on their bicycle halfway down the street, you didn't run down and say, boy, you're leaning a little bit too much to the left. You got to keep it back on the right side more. You said, get riding down that street and figure it out. And the next thing you know, their hands are off the wheel. You figure it out by putting yourself in that environment. Too many athletes are coddled and protected, and they're coddled. And I'm sorry, coaches, I'm about to upset you when I say this. They're coddled and protected based on the reliance upon mechanics. Because mechanics are one thing that we can measure. We can't measure the mental game, but we can measure mechanics. So what do is we keep pounding mechanics. And you know what? When they struggle, they go, my mechanics aren't very good. You know what? It's not your mechanics that are competing. It's you that's utilizing your mechanics. Can you get the ball to the right side with less than 2 outs? Can you get a ground ball when you got first and second and 1 out and get a ground ball double play? Can you find the half-second advantage on the basketball court and intercept a lane and tip a ball out of bounds? Can you anticipate a play coming your way on the football field? Can you realize that every chip you've hit today is coming 8 feet short? So maybe we need to change clubs we're chipping with or change our landing spot. See, that's not about a mechanics. That's about a playability. And if anxiety is going to tell you that you're not prepared for that and you need more trust in your mechanics and you need to work on that, then you are going to get eaten alive by this game time and time and time again. Performance anxiety is an educational platform, okay? But what we have to do is understand how to keep it from spiking at the wrong time. Now, Bash, pull up this one slide. Okay. So one of the things that I look at for all anxiety is there's 3 steps. Number 1 is cognitive. We're going to reframe this. We're going to look at this on a different perspective, right? And that's part of what I was talking about in the first section. We're going to do this differently. We're going to look at this differently. We're going to see the opportunities because we've got to reframe the environment. You're not in a live or die moment, okay? No offense, but you don't play for certain soccer teams across the world that they behead the goalie if they lose. And if you are, get off of that team now, okay? You're playing in a tough – nobody expects you. Like one of the things that I see among great athletes, right, and working with dynasty programs, and I've worked with I've been a part of a dynasty. I work in a dynasty. I've been around other dynasties, is that the older players that are in dynasties just figure it out and find a way. But the people who follow the dynasty put so much pressure on themselves to live up to that mythical standard that what happens is they crush themselves with anxiety and expectations and a no failure mentality. In order to be the best, you have to reframe the cognitive as this is an opportunity to get myself immersed in it. It's going to make me uncomfortable. It's going to change the way that I feel, move, think, experience, decide. And I got to get myself in that. Why? Because I'm going to get into a higher level of arousal. I'm going to get my heart rate up. My mind is going to be faster. I'm going to be moving quicker. I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to be all those things. And there's nothing that we can do to train you in full life. But you can do things that get your heart rate up to put yourself into win or fail standards that are more competitive focused versus technique focused. If you think that your technique will carry you, then stop being so arrogant. Your technique can be good, but competitors are great. There's a lot of great techniques that suck as competitors, and you don't see them in professional ranks anymore. The best find their way. They immerse themselves in the unknown. They deal with the performance anxiety. They understand that the discomfort that they're feeling is not a sign of a warning, not a sign of a problem. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that the mind is trying to identify threat and risk, and it's trying to amp you up ready for it. Don't buy into the story that it's telling you. I could fail here. You could 100% fail in every one of these settings. But you have to flip the script and tell yourself that not only are you prepared for it, that you're ready for whatever could happen to come your way. Let's go get it. Let's immerse ourselves in it. Let's trust our systems. But we had a really interesting conversation. I had a conversation with somebody today about the Florida-Georgia game. I don't know if you watched it.
A little bit of it.
Florida came out of the gate pretty good. And they were going toe-to-toe with Georgia. And then Florida made some boneheaded play calling decisions. They got too fancy. They tried to be too razzle-dazzle. They tried to go for the big home runs versus chopping away and serving fried chicken. I always say Chick-fil-A sells chicken. Serve your chicken, okay? If you're a barbecue restaurant, serve barbecue. If you're a fish house, sell fish. Like so many times under pressure, what we do is we get out of our comfort zones, we get out of the things that we know, and we try to be better. If you have a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Don't be throwing a changeup 40% of the time, okay? If you're a golfer that plays a cut, play the stupid cut, particularly under pressure. Now's not the time to try to work it right to left. Those are the things that I want you to understand from a performance standpoint. Performance anxiety is nothing wrong. It's just a change of the mental and the arousal to make you think that risk and threat are all around you. Instead, immerse yourself in it and train yourself to get out through it, with it, all that. And if you look at yourself in a systematic way, okay, what did I learn there? That hurt. That was awful. What did I learn? What did I experience? What were the anxieties I felt? What can I learn about myself? Then what you do is you raise the bar. The next time you're in that situation, I don't know if it's going to go any better, but I know that you're at least going to have more experience in that crazy situation. Thoughts, Bash?
I think you nailed it, man.
Hope I did. Any questions for anybody out there? Let me know. Just don't throw it to Herodios Garcia. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I watched the NLCS and the ALCS. I haven't watched the World Series yet. I'm sorry. When it runs against football as a baseball guy, I just can't do it. Tom
had a pretty good question.
Yeah, what was that?
Do you think that athletes that have the it factor understand performance anxiety?
I think we realize they have the it factor by how many times they put themselves in the performance anxiety situation and keep throwing punches. Okay. So I think they have a better framework of, does it hurt less? No. Does it cause the mind to be slower or faster? Still faster. Is it still anxiety provoking? Yes. But the difference is that when they get in those moments, they're willing to take action. That's my experience. It's funny when people will come out afterwards and say, well, I didn't have any nerves out there. They're lying to you. Okay. It's kind of like when you go to Colorado and you go up the steps. I don't feel the altitude. Yeah, you probably don't. Go run those stairs 3 more times. Let me see if you feel the altitude. It's just those days that they don't feel something. A lot of times they're kind of in the performance slot. So I never buy into that. And by the way, 95% of those people, they're given the interview after the fact and after they've already had success, right? Oh yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, man, that was good. Man, that was good. Didn't feel it at all. That's why I give Max Homa so much credit for talking about what he felt at the Ryder Cup. Dude, my legs were shaking. I was going nuts. Like, hell yeah. Man, we should be celebrating somebody like Max Homa all day long. So, any other questions?
Not yet.
All right. Well, listen, I hope everybody picks up a copy of the book. Please let me know. Reviews are critical for us. Okay. I can't share that enough. Reviews are critical. Likes, reviews. And we're going to send out something about it. But I want them to be genuine. I want them to be authentic. I want them to say, this book really helped me. And if they do, please send a review. That's all I can ask you. And everybody who joined me today, thank you. I'm going to go get back on the couch, get my leg elevated, get on the Normatec, and take a little break here because my leg is starting to throb. So other than that, I hope everybody has a good day. We'll talk soon. Take care.